Hello, welcome to my channel, Ruby A Ceramics. I am your host, Andrea. This is a kiln unload, believe it or not. Um, we aren't in my garage where I keep my kiln because just outside the garage, like literally 2 meters away by the neighbors, they are putting up some roofing, and the workers are, as my mother would put it, effing and jeffing quite a bit. And I didn't think we needed that. I F and Jeff myself on occasion, but I try not to put it in my YouTube videos. So instead, I have unloaded the kiln away from them and now will present the items to you. But as a bonus for missing out on the kiln, you instead get Hera! Hera the Potenko. She is a rescue from Spain, and she's lovely. She's a hunting dog. She doesn't do much hunting when she's here at home, but when she's out, she likes to chase the squirrels and the rabbits. And she's going to help me decide on these pieces and what we think of them. And hopefully, you'll leave a comment and tell me what you think as well. So let's get started, shall we? Oh, head scratches first, sorry. Okay. So the first thing I'll start with was a refire. This was my Sports Direct mug, a big mug, quite big. You can see, well, I mean, compared to my normal mugs, I have one of them as well, right? Which this is already, I know, can take over 300 milliliters. So this one is quite a bit bigger with the same sort of size. I had done it already. This was butter yellow, glossy pink, gloss aqua, and with a bit of light flux. And I didn't like how the colors came. I thought they might blend a little bit more together. That foolish me. But I tried then I fired it again with a coat of Flux Blossom on it over everything. And you know what? I don't think it changed much other than the light flux melted a little bit, but I actually kind of like it more somehow. I think maybe the pink got a little softer and that's made everything a little bit softer. I'm not sure. It's okay. What do you think? I think someone's going to like that. I think it's nice and bright and colorful and sweet. And I will try this again, but I know what I have to do different next time. So it's all right. I'm not unhappy with it. One refire is enough. So now I'll pull up the other mug that I did. This is a test piece. A friend has commissioned me to do 4 mugs like this. I did another drippy mug similar to this. If you go look on my Instagram, you can see it way back last year some point. And so this was just a test on the colors. It worked out okay. What I really do love is this ridge here that's come out. You can see it there. I always like a bit of texture just from the glaze. So I'm going to come up so you can see a little bit better. So it does need a refire. I don't think this is the final pattern for my friend, but I know it needs a refire because inside, where is it? Right there. You see there's a big missing piece of glaze. And I know what happened. It's because I poured in the glaze. Inside is Amico's Blue Lagoon. And it's near the end of that tub. And was a bit, well, I don't know if it's thick, but it had little bits of particulate in it or something. And I'm not surprised it did that. So it will need another little dab of Blue Lagoon down there, maybe another spot next to it in the middle. And hopefully we'll solve that. But you want to know about the outside here. So I'm sure most of you who know glazes will recognize this. This is Celadon Bloom from Mako. I really like that glaze. And I did 2 coats down here and I did 1 coat up here, because then up here I did a coat. Was it 1 coat or 2 coats? Let me check my notes. I think I did 2 coats, or one really thick coat and 1 kind of thin coat of Cirrus Flow. And then I divided it up into 6 to put 4 colors on. And as you can see, some of the colors came out better than other colors. And I think that's partly due to the consistency of the glazes, and also my application methods. So the 4 colors were, so that was Arctic Flow. Is it Arctic Flow? No, Arctic Blue. Sorry, Arctic Blue. Cirrus Flow underneath. Arctic Blue from Amico. So you can see there. That one dripped a lot. That was probably the drippiest glaze. I know it was the runniest when I put it on. And then I had from Spectrum, I had Sea Glass. And what's interesting, most of the Sea Glass has gone glossy. Sea Glass on itself, I would say, is not, but I guess with the Cirrus Flow under it and then the other glazes next to it, it went glossy, which is good because I was scared that it might sort of stand out too much if it was matte. But it also just sort of turned into the color of everything else, which isn't quite what I want. Then I had Blue Lagoon as well, which I thought it might marry it to the inside, but I think it just sort of took away. It should be in a different colored drip. I'll probably use a different blue. So if you have a suggestion for another blue to put instead of Blue Lagoon here, and even a suggestion for another green, we want sort of like a pale sage green is what my friend asked for, which I do feel this is, but you can't really see much of it, can you? Here and here. Sorry, my nails are dirty, but that's from cooking from cocoa powder. Okay, and then the Blue Lagoon next to it. So I need something better for that. And then she asked for baby pink, pale baby pink, and I used pink opal from Mako, and I don't think that's quite the right shade of pink either. So I think I'll use pink gloss. It is quite stable, but I think if I have the Cirrus Flow under it, it should drip because we're looking for a drippy mug. I think in general, in principle, it's okay. I'm going to send a photo to her and see what she thinks, but I might just do another test actually before I send it to her, see what she thinks. I know. What do you think? I'm looking for suggestions for other blues to put on and maybe even a better pink if you have a better pink. Right. Well, those are the 2 mugs. I normally have loads of mugs, but today those are the only 2 mugs I have. But I have quite a few other exciting things in here. I shall show you a success, then another failure, and then some more successes. So I think this came out quite well. This is on clay from Valentine's Clay. That's here in a supplier here in the UK. And this is their Luna Fleck. And the flecks are quite raised in this clay. Like I think lots of people get a speckled clay and it's not nearly as raised, but here it's quite bumpy. Like you definitely need to sand the bottom. But I do love the look of it. I think it's a nice light buff and the speckles come out really well. And so what I made here was just a little random serving dish. Just a slab where I built, and then I pulled up the edges and then put in some centerpieces, and then I painted the little hearts in it. I'm a bit disappointed with myself that you can see where I painted carefully around it, like you can see the lines. So I probably should have done, this was all undercoat underglaze, sorry, that I did this with. Let me tell you what colors they were. Right. So here in the middle, we had flame red. These were Mako. Flame red. That was Electro blue. And then this is squash yellow here. And then the white glaze was not Mako. It was Contem white underglaze. And then I used my standard clear glaze, transparent glaze, which is Bots. I like it. The heart is a bit darker than I was expecting. I thought it might be more brightly colored red, like a candy red, but I don't dislike it. I'm not going to reglaze it just because I'm a little unhappy with that, because I think it's fine, it's functional, and it just adds to sort of the handmade feel to it. So I think it's okay. Yeah, like that. Okay, so now we have some mushrooms. These are just hand built with the scraps of clay that I had left over. These 2 are the same glaze. This top had a little bit of texture on it. I think you can see the spiral that I put into it there. Try and make it focus. Come on, focus. It's refusing to focus, but I think you can see the color. And this one had a flatter top, but it also has quite a nice little speckly pattern on it, doesn't it? Any guesses on the glaze before I tell you? This was Amico's Floating Lavender. It was my first time using it. I put it on quite thickly. This one I just shook up the container and then I dipped it in, thought I'd give it a try. But it was way too thick. I had to wipe some off. Like I just knew that was going to be way too much glaze. And I basically then just wiped it onto this mushroom, which I was going to do a different color, but a different purple to compare them. But uh, no one is going to waste glaze in my house. I'll tell you that. Like so, the glaze got used up on these two mushrooms, and they're cute. Just little mushies. All right, both done, stem and top with it. Yeah, I like to put holes in it because I it just dries faster. You don't need to, but for me, I prefer it. This one's good. So the texture is a little mini stamp roller from Relief Pottery Supplies. Um, just a little Celtic heart knot kind of thing. I just want some texture on it. Now the glaze is a fun one. The glaze is a fun one. So I think I may have mentioned before, but when I'm doing glazing in one color, I will then rinse the brushes out in a cup that is specifically for that color. So, you know, all my blues get rinsed out in one cup and all my reds get rinsed out in another cup. And I have one cup that's all multicolor, like just all the brushes. But this was the leftover glaze from my red cup. And isn't it stunning? I really like it. Like, because there was quite a bit of water in it, obviously it's just like leftover glaze. It doesn't, it was a bit thin in places, but I didn't mind that. In fact, this one broke when I was making it in the when it was bone dry. You can see it fell off, but I glazed it together and it's now nice and sturdy together. But I love the top. I think the top came out really fun. And I do actually like that stamp. I wasn't sure what I would think of it once it was glazed, but that looks really sweet, especially with the red. Red heart. My red heart mushroom. Sweet. Um, Again, with more leftover clay. So before I rinse out the brush, I always take the brush and I squeeze out the glaze, and I squeeze that glaze out onto a piece of wax paper or parchment paper would be similar. And then I make glaze chips with that. And so I have blue glaze chips, black glaze chips, red glaze chips, and then I have random, just all the rest, because sometimes it's too much to keep them all sorted. So on this little mushroom, I used, was it Fossil Rock? I do believe it was. Yes, Fossil Rock from Mako, which isn't dishwasher safe, or like it's not for dinnerware. So putting on mushrooms is good use. It's matte, which I also am not always crazy about. Uh, but then I put then the flakes on top, and it came out like that. I think that looks okay. What do you guys think? Will it focus? Oh, it's probably just a little bit too close for it. I think that's very mushroomy like. It's a very mushroom color and then just multicolors on top. It's interesting how the Fossil Rock took, because most of these chips would have been glazed, like glossy glaze chips, but it's taken most of the glaze out of them and continued on matte. Like here, you can see a bit of shine on that bigger chip, but here, this is all just the same matte as Fossil Rock. Okay, very realistic looking. Bit different from my magic mushroom here. And just one more mushroom, but I have pumpkins to show you as well, which I will get to. This one was imprints of a sage leaf. I was doing my slab building outside, and nearby I have a sage plant, so I put the imprints in there. I'll try and get a photo because I don't think that that's going to focus for me. And then I used underglazes again. That's forest green underglaze, Mako, and then apple green on the rest. And then a bit of forest green right near the stem there. Yeah, for people who like green, it's good. I think that forest green's a bit dark for my personal taste, but it's okay. Okay, on to bigger and better things. So, well, I don't know about better. I thought those mushrooms were pretty cute. I have a leaf platter. I think it might need a refire because it's got a couple little spots where this glaze is missing, but it's okay. I don't know, but I do like the whole look of it. This is about as big as I can fit anything in my kiln. When I measured the clay when I cut it out, and that was at the limit of my how far it could be. Then I curved it up a little bit, so it was a little bit smaller, and then it dried. So technically, I could maybe be that much bigger, but this is pretty much the limit of what I can fit in my kiln. Yeah, it's quite nice, quite good. I like that. I have done them before with a bit of green underglaze underneath the celadons, which this is what that is. And I think I prefer it. I think I like the celadon for the texture, but I don't know. It doesn't quite do it. So what you of course want to know what it is. It is 2 coats of wasabi green, and then 2 coats of dark green, and as simple as that. And then I did the back as well, and I think I did 1 coat of wasabi and 2 coats of dark green, and you can see that it is much, you know, you definitely need 4 coats of those celadons in places so it doesn't look so, you know, splotchy. But on the texture with 4 coats, it looks pretty good. But you can see down here, right, there's a little spot there where there's no glaze and a few other little imperfections. The other imperfections are generally just little spots and they're fine. But that one there, that's going to bug me. I don't know. To be honest, I had made one for myself similar. I have it with me. I'll show you. Um, it's a bit dusty. That one. It's the same from the same imprint sheet that I have, but it kissed something in the kiln, and so it's got this bit here and that bit there, and I don't. It really bothers me. And if I put this out to use, it'll bother me because I had it up on stilts because I painted glazed the whole thing, and it it the stilt would not hold at cone 6. So, what do you think, Hera? Hmm? What do you think? Is it good? Hera is unimpressed. Well, let's see if she's more impressed with the next bit. This next one, big shout out to Natalie from Two Sisters Pottery. She's the one who showed me the idea, and also then in another video, just came out yesterday, I think, gave me the idea for glazing one of them. So she had, I'll link her and I'll link the specific video in the comments. But she had this great way of making spoon rests with some texture out of trivets. And I picked up a little owl trivet, very similar to the one she has. I don't know if it's the same one, but it's pretty similar looking. And here they are. And aren't they sweet? Ah, I am delighted with these. Thank you so much for the idea, Nat. They look great. So this is the one that Nat suggested was she used micro ash, and I have micro ash from the sample kit for Mako, and it's not one of my favorites, but man, doesn't that look good there? Great use of it. Really pleased with that. Isn't he cute? And then this one was the one that I thought to use, and that was Makoshino. Because I love how it really gives you 2 colors depending on how thick it goes on. Not perfect coverage, like this year's got more than this one, but honestly, it's just fine. I think they are super sweet. So I'll hold them like that. You can probably see them best that way. Aren't they great? And I just pop the ears up, and then you put your spoon on there. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Love them. I'm going to make a bunch more of them. I think they'll go over well this autumn. Very nice. Okay, now I'm about to show you what was probably the biggest failure, but I was prepared for that because it was an experiment. I made this pressed plate here. You can see from guess from the shape what it is. It's a Christmas plate. I have these plastic plates I found someone selling secondhand on eBay, and the texture's on the outside. So I just pressed it over that, and so now the texture's on the inside of my plate. And I nearly everything I do is with brushing glazes, but I do have some dipping glazes, some of my own and some that I have with a friend that we picked up for free from someone who didn't want to use them anymore. And I'm not very good at using them. I'm not good for a lot of reasons. I feel very uncoordinated trying to pour or dip things. I keep them in too long because I think there's no way it's getting enough glaze in 3 seconds, what have you. And anyway, so I tried to pour in one of our glazes here, and you can see that it's crawled because it was so thick. I mean, it's unsurprising. Trying to hold that so you can see it there against the light. You see there? Yeah, and it lost quite a bit of the texture as well. So I will not be doing that again with this glaze, or at least not doing it the same way. What I had done is I'd poured it in and poured it out, and it just didn't work. I mean, I didn't have enough to dip it properly, and that would have been a lot to wipe off or to put wax on the back. But it was not ideal. So this one I think is probably going to end up in the going out pile because I don't want to try it again. I will try the glaze again though, because I think if it's not too thick, it could be okay, but I'm not sure. It's not something I want to put on anything important just yet. Let's just put it that way. I think it might crawl no matter what I do. So that was the biggest disaster, but that's okay because we still have a few nice things to come along. So I will show you. I'll show you the other things. I'll show you the pumpkins. I think I'll show you the pumpkins next. So all my little pumpkins. These were tests really because I have something else that I'm going to be. Oh, I can show you. I can show you. That's all right. So these 3 little pumpkins. There we did. Look at them. So this pumpkin was that same poppy dip. I don't even know where it's from, like that dipping glaze, because it's in literally an old yogurt container from the lady we got it from. So I can't really say what the brand is or anything. And you can see there. Oh, can you see? Yeah, see there? That's a little bit of crawling right there. So on the rest of it, it looks really good. It's a really nice red. I really like how deep and rich it is. But if it's going to crawl on something little like that, I don't know. So the reason I was trying these was, I'll show you. I have another bigger platter, and I'll talk about this another time. But you see, they're pumpkins, and I was thinking of doing like a yellow, orange, red one there. If anybody has ideas of what to put on the edge, that would be good. And so I was trying these ones out, and while I like the colors, I like the idea of the colors, I don't think that this red's going to work. I think this yellow and this one will work. This is technically a yellow. This is carnelian yellow from Bots, which is very orangey. It's not as orange as some of my oranges, but it is quite orangey. It does break nice in the texture, I would say. This was very last minute, so I didn't do a great job of glazing this. That's probably my finger from where I touched it. Pardon my dirty nails. Like I said, that's just cocoa powder. So I wouldn't worry about that. I think it'll be okay if I do a good job. I've used it on many things and it's fine. And this was it butter yellow again? I think, let me check. It's back on my front page. Yes, Spectrum butter yellow. And then all the tops were done with Amico dark green, not solid on Potter's Choice. They were all done because that was when I was painting that big dish. I had it out, so I thought I'd just do it like that. So I like the color combo, but I think I'm going to need another red. So if someone has another red, and I do like this sort of like opaque-ish red. I have a lot of what's the stroke and coat? It's not jalapeno red. What is it? Oh, how's it just left my head? Oh, if I don't go and look, it'll bug me. Hang on a second. Hot tamale. That's what I wanted to say. I have stroke and coat hot tamale, which I feel is a very similar red, but I've also had that at Cone Six. Crackle on me, so it's not my first choice. So if you have a stoneware glaze that you could suggest, that will give me a nice red coverage like that. Maybe break a little bit over texture, but not too much, or at least let allow texture to be seen. That would look good on this plate. Hit me up. Let me know your suggestions. I have two more pumpkins to show you, and then a couple more dishes. So this one was same as this mushroom that I did on the fossil rock with the glazed chips, the random glazed chips. I did a pumpkin with it. It's a little bit almost more garlic shaped, but I think pumpkins come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, don't they? That was brown gloss on the top, but that's fossil rock. And because there was more glazed chips on this, this is definitely more glossy in bits on it. Also ran quite a bit. Whew. Very lucky it didn't stick to anything. No, I did definitely. I didn't pull up any of my kiln shelf. That's nice. I mean, it's not to my taste, but it's cool, and somebody might like it, right? It's nice. Put that with. Oh, they hardly look the same, in fact, because this one is so matte. But nonetheless, I like it. There was quite a few. I just put it on the top bit, and clearly they ran down. This was also at the bottom of my kiln, which is always the hottest part of my kiln, so it would have had more heat work. Oh, I didn't tell you. It was my usual fast glaze fire on my L&L kiln. Fast glaze fire to cone 5 with a 10-minute hold. That's usually all I need to make everything work. And if something doesn't work, that's usually my fault, not the kiln's fault. Then we got a big pumpkin. Well, big-ish. And this is Poppy. Now, what looks interesting here is I clearly did different coats here, and I was wondering if I thought I was doing something else there. Let me just see if I have it, if I even listed it. I don't even have it listed. Why don't I have it listed? Well, anyways, I know this was on my speckled clay. So I think I just want to see how this was reclaimed speckle, actually. Let me check my other dish, which I believe is, yeah, so this is Lunar Speck, and this is then Lunar Speck in with my stoneware. So that it's quite speckly, but it's not all speckles. You definitely can see a few speckles. Fewer there, but that might just be the way they came out. It's funny, the sun's just at a funny angle right now, causing so much. There! That's not bad, is it? And then you get to watch. Look at Hera too. Oh, sorry, honey. Didn't mean to wake you up. She'll go back to sleep. That's all right. I think should have had another coat. It looks a little bit bleh to me, but I don't think I'm going to glaze it again. I think it's, or refire it. I think it looks fine. And that would have been dark green on the top there. Right, just 3 more pieces to go. 2 of them the same. This was little dish. These sold straight away when I put them into the shop where I do into the craft cooperative where I put my stuff in. I had 2 of them with Celadon Bloom, and I just had this one. I made this one. These are little stamps again from Relief Pottery Tools. That was the same company where I got this heart. And it was 3 little birds on a wire, and people really liked it, and it went straight away. So I thought, well, I'll make another one. I'll probably make a bunch more, but I just had a bit of scrap clay, so I made the one. And that was, I think, just 1 thick coat Yeah, I think one thick coat of, was it? Oh, hold on. Sorry, I'm just trying to think. It was one thick coat of poppy celadon from Amico, and then one coat of raspberry mist over top, because I don't like how raspberry mist can go cloudy, and I didn't want to obscure the birds. So I just put one coat of it on. And the black was done with Pasler underglaze before I did any of that. But it was all done at Bisqueware stage. Sweet. Like a bird on a wire. So this, I have two more spoon rests. These two are exactly the same. So I will hold them both up, but then I will just show you on one. Okay. There we go. So both the same. These are nice and bright and cheery. Someone's going to like that for a spoon rest. Look, they're quite a bit bigger than these little ones. So it depends on whether you want like a hefty thing or you want a little tiny thing. So again, this was poppy celadon. I like how it broke over the texture. This was again done. I have to thank Natalie again for the idea of using a rubber mallet to get the texture in, because that works stunningly. I have a big stamp, and sometimes it is hard to get an even print on it. So by just giving a good knock with the rubber mallet, look at how well the texture came out. Worked really well. Then I pushed it over, folded the edges down. That's a bit bumpy, and that's okay. And then this was raspberry mist on the sides too. And I think it was, 3 coats of the poppy celadon, and then one thick coat of the raspberry mist. And I like it. I think maybe if I might try another coat of raspberry mist on the side, but I did just want to see if I could just make it sort of that steady pink rather than the cloudy pink, which is also good. On the outside, I just did 2 coats of the celadon, and that's just the continuation of the same 1 coat of raspberry mist. They're good. They will need their bottoms sanded, but pretty nice. Good. So for Kiln employee of the day, no, for my favorite pieces out of the kiln, well, I'm the employee of the day. I'm the only employee. I'm CEO and chief bottle washer, right? Right, Hera? Are you president? Well, she is in charge of not caring too much or too deeply. I think my favorite is these two. I think these are really sweet, and I'm definitely see making more of these in the future. I think these will fly off the shelf when I put them in the shop. So that's it for me. Let me know your favorite piece. Let me know any suggestions you have for some of the glazes to improve them. And yeah, I should be back on schedule now. I had some holiday time, and that's why there was a big break between this video and the last kiln unload. But it's coming up to Christmas, so it will be full production, I would say, probably from now on. All right, thank you again. I'm out. Take care.